She called 911 47 times. 47 times in 11 months. She told them the same thing. A man was inside her home. She could hear him moving. She could hear him breathing through the wall. 47 times, police arrived, searched the apartment, found nothing. The 48th call never came. When officers finally entered apartment 4C, not because she called, but because a neighbor reported a smell, they didn't search the apartment. They searched the basement. Her name was Mara Kellins. She moved into the building on Ashford Street in early 2009. Third floor, coroner unit, 34 years old, hospital billing, paid her rent on time. Her neighbor across the hall, a retired school teacher named Dorothy, described her as quiet, considerate, the kind of person who props the elevator door without being asked. She lived alone. The first call came on March 14th. She would come home from a night shift to find her kitchen window unlatched. She was certain she had locked it. She could hear something in the hallway closet, a shifting sound like weight redistributing. 2 officers arrived within 8 minutes. They swept the apartment, checked the closet, the bathroom, under the bed, behind the door, but nothing. The report read, tenant anxious, no sign of forced entry, no evidence of intruder. They told her to call a locksmith. They told her to get a chain. She did both. 3 weeks later, she called again. This time, her bathroom mirror was slightly angled. On the way she would lift it, her shampoo bottle had moved from one side of the shower caddy to the other. Same result, same report. Tenant appears distressed. No evidence of intrusion. Here's what happens when someone calls 911 47 times over 11 months. The calls get shorter. The officers get less careful. The reports get thinner. And the woman making the calls starts to sound, on paper, like someone with a problem that's not a criminal one. By call 12, officers weren't doing full sweeps. The duty sergeant flagged her file and recommended a mental health liaison. Mara refused. She said she didn't need a physiatrist. She needed someone to look harder. No one looked harder, but she wasn't wrong. In September, Mara's sister drove in from out of state. She stayed 4 days. On the third night, she woke at 2 a.m. to a dragging sound from directly above her. Except there was no floor above. Apartment 4C was the top residential level. Above it, all the mechanical space, ductwork, insulation, and pipes. She didn't tell Mara. She convinced herself it was the building selling. Building settle, that's what people say. What they don't say is the building don't settle at 2 a.m. in the same spot on the same night of the week. Call 31 came in November. Mara told the dispatcher she would find a food item in her refrigerator she hadn't bought. The dispatcher asked if she might have purchased it and forgotten. Mara said, "I'm lactose intolerant. I read every label." Finding officer suggested it could have been left by a visitor. He took the container. It was discarded. No fingerprints, no testing. By December, Mara stopped trying to convince them. She started documenting. She kept a notebook. Every incident, every date, every officer's name, every response time. She began photographing her apartment each morning before she left for work and again when she returned. 40 times stamped photographs. Every flat surface, every position of every object. She did this for 3 months. On February 6th, she called for the 47th time. The responding officer noted she was calm, almost clinical. She showed him the photographs. She showed him the notebook. She pointed to a sequence of images where a single wooden chair in the corner of her bedroom had moved 2 inches between one morning and the next. He told her the camera angle might have shifted. He left. 3 days later, the neighbor called. Police entered apartment 4C on February 9th. They found Mara on the bedroom floor. The coroner estimated she'd been dead approximately 40 hours. Cause of death? Cardiac arrest. She was 35. No documented history of heart disease. What turned the wellness check into something else was a maintenance access panel at the back of her bedroom closet. Standard in older buildings, allows access to shared plumbing and crawl space beneath the roofline. Panel was unlocked. The screws on the interior frame had been removed and replaced so many times. The threading was stripped. You wouldn't see it unless you pulled the panel and looked at the edge directly. Someone had been in that crawl space repeatedly. Inside, improvised bedding, folded insulation padding, dark cloth, a gallon jug of water, and a small collection of objects that had belonged to Mara. A hair tie, one of her books, a photograph taken from frame of her dresser. The photograph was for Mara and her sister. The intruder was never identified. The crawl space connected through the mechanical level to access panels in 4 other units. All 4 had been entered. None of those tenants had reported anything unusual. The building was evacuated. 47 calls, 47 times. Mara Kellins knew she wasn't alone. And 47 times, the system built to protect her looked in the obvious places, found nothing, and left. She wasn't anxious. She wasn't paranoid. She was building a case with the precision of someone who understood that no one would believe her unless she made it airtight. She took 40 photographs a day. She logged every officer's name. She kept the chain of her door, and none of it was enough. The specific cruelty here isn't the crime, it's the architecture around it. A woman gets labeled. The label accumulates. The label becomes the story. And the real story? The one she's writing in a notebook with timestamps disappears inside. Mara's notebook was looked as evidence and listed in records as miscellaneous personal items. The 40 photographs from February 5th, the last morning she left her apartment alive, are presumably still in a box somewhere. The chair in the corner had moved again. If this stayed with you, there are 2 more cases where the pattern holds exactly. A person calls for help. The calls get shorter, the files get thicker, and by the time someone looks at the right thing, it's over. Those are next. Subscribe so you don't miss them.